All right, and good morning, gang. Happy Tuesday. Hope everybody's having a good Tuesday morning. Interesting morning in the stock market today, right? We had really weird. Looks like we look like we're starting to get a nice little rally going and stuff like that. A good progressive rally. And the big thing is Apple started taking leadership again. You can see the chart looks really, really nice, especially the last 5 or 6 days. It's done a beautiful stair step. It's coming off that looks like a short-term double bottom, and it looks like it's about to make a break towards that all-time high. On that subject, we were talking about we've got the three trades going on, right? The Ollie trade, the Apple trade, and the Coke trade. We're short Coke. We got puts in Coke. We've got calls in Ollie and Apple. Throwing good money after bad. That's what I wanted to talk about first here. We actually bought another week on the Apple trade. The reason is it's Tuesday where we still got a nice little bid on those contracts that we're currently in. And so we bought another week, about 19 cents a contract. We extended that trade a week. What does that do? Well, it lets this rally that Apple's showing come to fruition. But also, too, you see Apple just announced they've got their April 20th show, which should help the stock over the next few days. But also, too, like I said, Apple still looks like it's starting to reestablish leadership. The only reason your S&P was green this morning was because of stocks like Apple, mostly Apple. Now, on the other subject is you look at a Coke, right? Coke, we've got those puts there despite boycotts, besides bad press, besides all this back and forth. The stock's done well, right? And it's consumer driven, guys. The economy's growing, so naturally a little bit more Coke's being sold, the soda kind. But if you look at the two trades, now the Coke trade will just live with the result. If they expire on Friday, they expire on Friday. The thing is, you don't want to throw good money after bad in the hopes of hitting a Hail Mary or something, right? The Apple chart has shown you that there is high chance that you're going to win this trade. So it's worth it, that 19 cents extra contract to get another week. The Coke, it's not. The Ollie trade is still out to jury. So we'll watch that over the next day or two, and we'll make a final determination on that. The retail should do well. Now, here's the thing. We had this overnight news of Johnson & Johnson, right? I've talked about Johnson & Johnson before with you guys. They have a decades-long history of putting out a dangerous product. We all know about the talc. We all remember, you guys that are as old as I am, remember when they found out baby shampoo was not baby shampoo. It was just the adult shampoo with a different color dye. Johnson & Johnson is notorious for doing this. And so their vaccine, no different. The Moderna and the Pfizer vaccines are still great vaccines, and they're doing what they're supposed to do. We also heard news from China, right, that their vaccines aren't even 50% effective. So, congratulations, President Trump, on Operation Warp Speed. If we didn't have those Moderna and those Pfizers, man, where would we be right now? Even the AstraZeneca version is starting to get a little bit of murmuring about ineffectiveness and stuff like that. So it put a damper on the Dow Jones. And like I always teach you guys, the Dow Jones is 30 stocks, and one of their stocks like J&J or a Boeing, there's been times when it was Boeing, right? Triple M, Caterpillar, they have a really bad day like they've had today, and it brings down the whole market. So it gets a little deceptive, right? You're looking at two other markets that are green, but you're looking at the Dow, which really is the window of the stock market, and it looks ugly. So it can be a little confusing especially for a newer wealth builder, right? So always understand why things are happening, right? And that's why you're getting that mixed market. A little bit of the tech loves come back into the market. And a way to really gauge that is to kind of watch Kathy Wood's ARKK fund, because that one's so tech heavy and it's so tech orientated that generally if tech is doing well, you can really tell by that barometer. And Apple, of course, Apple's still a tech company, right? Other than that, guys, the market is got a little wishy-washy, but we had our inflation report this morning. We had our CPI number. Perfect. They were expecting 0.5, 0.05. They got 0.06, a little bit higher than expected. But we're also getting this growth to go along with it. And your confirmation on that was your 10-year bond, right? They stayed flat and actually went a little red on that yield. So inflation fear is not a big thing right now. It's like I told you, what you don't want is to start getting that inflation and then you start shutting things down again or whatever, and the economic growth doesn't grow in line with inflation. It has to be together, or else you get hyperinflation and you get really a bad situation. Think the Carter years. For you guys that are old enough for that. Other than that, guys, look, earnings season kicks off tomorrow. It should be a lot of fun. We still got that energy play set up till midsummer, late summer, and we're just kind of living with that. Also do the Ford trade. We got a lot of time on the Ford trade. It's kind of been trickling down softly, but again, that's a Dow component. It'll kind of flow with that market a little bit. And plus two, there hasn't been the exciting news that we had a couple weeks ago with those domestic automakers, right? Like GM and Ford, with their electric vehicles. So other than that, it's just kind of wait and see how the big three come out tomorrow morning. So before the bell, we'll get Wells Fargo, we'll get JP Morgan, and of course we'll get the big dogs, Goldman Sachs, the wolves of Wall Street there. We'll see how that goes. As a tip from me to you, what you want to watch for on these is not so much their numbers that come in for the quarter, but what they say about next quarter. One of the big things about the last couple of earnings season is nobody wanted to talk about forward guidance because nobody really understood where we were headed with this COVID situation. Now that we're starting to get some clarity on it, a little light at the end of the tunnel, Florida, a lot of states opening up. In Hawaii, there's tourists everywhere now. The airlines are in full swing, Hawaiian Air. And of course, for you guys, I've told you guys about 3 months ago, maybe a little poke at love. Southwest Airlines, they have a big place in the Hawaii air travel right now. Where else are people flying? I mean, you can't fly to Europe. You can't fly to Japan. You can't do this. Canada just shut down. So it's got to be domestic. Well, where's your domestic travel coming from? Vacation time, Hawaii. So it's a good indicator for that. We'll see how things shake out tomorrow morning. But like I said, what you guys want to watch is watch what they talk about the forward guidance. Like I said, nobody's been talking about forward guidance. It's that fear of the COVID. But now there's a lot of confidence coming into business as far as opening and staying open. You still got pockets of resistance when it comes to reopening California and things like that. But we know quite a few people in California, and they're saying the same thing, that there's a lot of pockets in California where they're rolling forward. It just seems to be like your LA County and stuff like that, for whatever reason, probably ideologically driven, those things. Other than that, look, guys, the asterisk in all this is what I've been telling you for the last couple of months. It's the social side. You look at the country right now, we got more riots going on. We just had more shootings, whether they're authority involved or whether they're citizen involved. There's a lot of wild things happening right now. It doesn't seem anything has changed over the last 10, 15 years with that, despite all this yelling and screaming from both sides. Nobody's solved the problem. Everybody seems to be able to identify the problem, but nobody seems to be able to solve it. Then you've got the southern border, right? And that's a big thing. Look, guys, I always tell you, keep your ideology out of your wealth building. But it's just funny that we haven't had anything from our vice president in about 20 days, 3 weeks. We need to hear from them. We need to hear what's going on. We need reassurance. If this was 3 years ago, there'd be hell to pay if it was a Trump administration doing this. So again, we just want fair. We just want balance. Other than that, guys, let's kind of sit tight, see how the earnings come out tomorrow morning with those big banks, and then we just roll right into some other earnings, and we'll get into the tech earnings next week, and also too we'll start rolling into some retail earnings. Ali and some of the others kick off mid-March. mid-April, excuse me. Or Ollie, I think, is mid-May. I'm sorry. But like I said, Apple's got that show. They just announced that they're scheduling on the 20th. So they probably get a little love on the stock from that, the excitement and the anticipation of new products and things like that, developments. Everybody's wondering about the Apple car, right? There was a video out this morning, guys. If you Google it, the Apple car, and it was kind of cool. The guy gets out of the car. He pulls up to the charging station, gets out of the car, clicks a button. The car pulls up, backs into it, and plugs in itself. That's pretty cool. Nothing like this is all amazing things to somebody my age, because this is all things you saw in Star Trek. Back in my day, nobody thought it would happen, right? Really, the cell phone, guys, if you think about it, the cell phone's your tricorder, right? I mean, it does everything. You can communicate. It even, right, like a tricorder. Back in the day, remember, like, what's his name? The doctor used to use his tricorder to check somebody, and Dr. Spock and stuff like that. It's kind of cool. Anyways, guys, let's end it with that. We don't want to make this a long pat yap. We're sticking with our trades. We've got those energy trades set up. The stock of the week, we'll release a stock of the week tomorrow. We want to see a little bit of what happens with the banks and stuff. We've actually got two choices that we were going to suggest. And it kind of depends on a little bit of how that guidance goes in the morning. So tune in for that. But other than that, guys, like for us, all we did this morning was we rolled out another week, about an extra week on those options for Apple. The Ollies, will wait and see if we get a little bounce. Had a great day yesterday, and it's just kind of sagging today. It's just been in that sideways trading, the nightmare for an options trader, right? Sideways, unless you're selling covered calls. But Bitcoin, for you Bitcoin people, man, good move this morning. Probably don't forget, guys, we got a big IPO, maybe the biggest IPO of the year. And I know it's early in the year, but think about it. The anticipation for this one and the relevance for this one is huge. Coinbase. And if you want to watch it tomorrow, the symbol is going to be COIN, coin. Easy to remember. And we're going to be watching that in our live room and stuff with our members. We might even take a poke at it. Who knows? But if you guys are looking for something new, exciting, and fun, that is maybe an avenue for a lot. I know a lot of investors, a lot of wealth builders that want to have some exposure to Bitcoin, but don't want to actually go buy the coin, set up another brokerage and stuff like that. This might be your way. I always tell you guys, we stay away from Riot and stuff like that because they're too volatile and they're not, I don't know, they're just kind of sketchy to us. But this Coinbase might be probably the best avenue we're seeing so far with Bitcoin for somebody to use the stock market to get some of that Bitcoin exposure into their portfolio. Okay. The great thing about this too is, you remember, Coinbase is a Bitcoin brokerage. It's not the coin itself. So regardless of whether the coin accelerates and stuff like that, you can still do well with the Coinbase, because as long as people are trading it, brokers making money. So we'll see how that shakes out tomorrow, guys. And we suggest, if you're a market watcher, you go check it out too. Remember, COIN. So that's the way we're playing it today, guys. Kind of another rest your legs day like it was yesterday. We wanted to see that CPI report this morning, which came out good. And then we want to see how those first earnings come out, and the guidance especially, right? Other than that, the country's on fire, which is pretty much the same way it's been for about the last 12, 14 years. So that should be nothing new to John Q. Public or you as a wealth builder. And like I say, keep ideology out of your wealth building. All you care is how the economy is doing and how it's going to affect your stocks. All right, guys, we'll talk tomorrow. We'll be back in the morning. Then in the afternoon, we'll release our stock of the week. The last few stock of the weeks are doing great, especially that CCI one and the ET one. Those are really doing good. And don't forget, the stock I keep talking about the last couple of days was a stock of the week a few weeks ago, Apple. And that was when it was trading at 119. It is now at what, 134. 133. So that's a nice little gain plus dividends. Okay, guys, I'll see you guys in the morning with the update, and then in the afternoon tomorrow with the stock of the week. You guys have a fantastic Tuesday. You guys stay safe and enjoy your day. That's what it's all about. Look, if you're always stressing about your trading, if you're always stressing about your portfolio, if you're always stressing about your wealth building in general, you're doing it wrong. It should just take you a little time each day. And even if you don't play options and stuff, if you just buy stocks and ETFs and stuff for your wealth building, which is fine. I mean, that's the way we made money in the old day, right? You had to buy and sell stocks. Options weren't a big thing back then, except for covered calls. You shouldn't be spending 9 hours a day on the stock market. You should be out there enjoying life. Remember, there's an old saying, right? I want my money working for me. So if I'm sitting there 9 hours a day managing my money, guess what? I'm working for my money. I can go get a job and get guaranteed pay and have somebody else take the responsibility of solvency, right? Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys in the morning. We'll end it on that note. Little bit of doom and gloom. You know how much the media likes that. All right, guys, I'll see you guys in the morning and then in the afternoon with the stock of the week. All right, guys, see you guys.